My name is Sarah Miller, and I am 32 years old. I have brown hair, kind eyes, and a smile that used to come easily. I work as a teacher at Riverside Elementary School, where I teach 3rd grade. I love my job. I love children. And I loved my husband, David, more than anything in the world. But today, I'm standing at his funeral. And today, everything I thought I knew about my life is about to shatter into a million pieces. The church is packed with people dressed in black. The smell of flowers fills the air, roses, lilies, and carnations covering David's closed casket. My eyes are red and swollen from crying. My best friend, Jessica, holds my hand tightly as the priest talks about David's life, his kindness, his love for others. I'm not really listening. I can't. My mind feels foggy, like I'm watching everything happen from far away. Then my phone buzzes in my purse. At first, I ignore it. Who would text me during my husband's funeral? But it buzzes again. And again. Jessica whispers, "Sarah, your phone." With shaking hands, I reach into my purse and pull out my phone. I glance at the screen, expecting a message from a relative or maybe a work email I forgot to turn off. But what I see makes my blood turn to ice. The message is from David's phone number. My dead husband's phone number. My fingers go numb. The phone nearly slips from my grasp. This can't be real. This is impossible. David died 3 days ago in a terrible car accident. I identified his body at the hospital. I saw him. His phone was destroyed in the crash. The police gave me back what was left of it, a broken, burnt piece of metal and glass. With trembling fingers, I open the message. The words on the screen make my heart stop. I am still alive. Do not trust anyone. I gasp so loudly that several people turn to look at me. Jessica leans closer, concerned. "Sarah. What's wrong?" I can't speak. I can't breathe. I stare at the message, reading it again and again, hoping my eyes are playing tricks on me. Another message comes through. "They are watching you. Act normal. I'll explain everything soon. Delete these messages. I love you." My hands shake so badly that I almost drop the phone. This can't be happening. David is dead. I saw him. The police said he died instantly when his car went off the bridge and into the river. They found his body. Wait. Did I actually see his face? The memory comes rushing back, blurry and painful. At the hospital, the body was badly burned from the fire after the crash. They only let me see his hand, the one with his wedding ring. The same ring I gave him 5 years ago. The ring with our initials engraved inside. Could they have made a mistake? "Sarah, you're scaring me," Jessica whispers urgently. "What's going on?" I quickly lock my phone and shove it back in my purse. "Nothing. I'm fine. Just feeling dizzy. But I'm not fine. Nothing is fine. If David is alive, why would he let me think he's dead? Why would he let me plan his funeral? And who is watching me? Who can't I trust?" I look around the church at all the familiar faces. David's parents sit in the front row, crying softly. His brother, Michael, stands near the casket with his head bowed. My sister, Amy, dabs at her eyes with a tissue. My co-workers, my neighbors, David's friends from work, they're all here. Could one of them be dangerous? The funeral continues, but I don't hear any of it. My mind races with impossible questions. When it's time to walk past the casket to say my final goodbye, I feel like my legs might give out. I place my hand on the smooth, dark wood of the casket. Inside is a body. But is it David's body? I'll find out the truth. I whisper so quietly that no one else can hear. I promise. 3 days earlier. To understand what happened, I need to tell you about the last morning I saw David alive, or thought I saw him alive. It was a Tuesday morning, bright and sunny. I woke up at 6 o'clock like I always do. David was already awake, sitting on the edge of our bed, staring at his phone with a strange expression on his face. "Morning, honey," I said, stretching. You're up early. He jumped, startled, and quickly put his phone away. Oh. Good morning, Sarah. Yeah, I couldn't sleep well. That should have been my first clue that something was wrong. David always slept like a rock. Nothing ever bothered him. Is everything okay? I asked, sitting up and touching his shoulder. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Everything's fine. Just some stress at work. Nothing to worry about. David worked as an accountant at Henderson and Associates, a big accounting firm downtown. He'd been working there for 7 years and usually loved his job. But for the past 2 weeks, he'd been acting strange, distracted, nervous, always checking his phone. Maybe you should take a day off, I suggested. We could spend the day together. I can't, he said quickly. Too quickly. I have an important meeting today. Very important. He got dressed in a hurry, barely touching the breakfast I made for him. At the door, he turned back and looked at me with an odd intensity. Sarah, I need you to know something, he said. What is it? He paused, opened his mouth, then closed it again. Finally, he just said, I love you. No matter what happens, always remember that I love you. I laughed, but it felt forced. You're acting weird, David. Of course I know you love me. He kissed me, a long, desperate kiss that felt like goodbye. Then he left. That was the last time I saw him. At 3 o'clock that afternoon, I was in the middle of teaching my students about fractions when my classroom phone rang. The school secretary told me I had an emergency call. My heart sank. Emergency calls are never good news. Mrs. Miller? A man's voice I didn't recognize. This is Officer Patterson with the Riverside Police Department. I'm afraid I have some terrible news about your husband. The room spun. What happened? Is he hurt? There's been an accident. Your husband's car went off Miller Bridge around noon today. The car went into the river and caught fire. I'm so sorry, Mrs. Miller, but your husband didn't survive. The phone slipped from my hand. The next hours were a blur of pain and confusion. Jessica came to get me from the school. She drove me to the hospital where they'd taken David's body. The police explained what happened. David's car had swerved off the bridge at high speed. No other vehicles were involved. They thought maybe he'd had a medical emergency, like a heart attack, and lost control. At the hospital, a doctor with sad eyes led me to a cold room. They showed me a hand, burned and damaged, but with David's wedding ring still on the finger. That's him, I whispered. That's my husband. They didn't show me more. They said the fire had been too severe. They said it was better to remember him as he was. I believed them. Why wouldn't I? The next 3 days passed in a horrible fog. David's parents flew in from Seattle. My sister stayed with me so I wouldn't be alone. Friends brought food. People sent flowers. Everyone kept saying, I'm so sorry for your loss. And I cried. Oh, how I cried. But now, standing at his funeral with that impossible message on my phone, I realize something terrible. What if I've been crying for nothing? What if David is alive? And if he is alive, what is he running from? After the funeral service, everyone drives to Greenwood Cemetery for the burial. I ride in a black car with Jessica and my sister Amy. I keep my phone clutched in my hand, hidden in my purse, checking it every few seconds. No new messages. At the cemetery, people gather around the grave. The priest says more words. David's mother sobs loudly. His father stands like a stone statue, his face empty of emotion. I watch them all carefully now, looking for any sign that someone isn't who they say they are. David's brother, Michael, catches me staring at him. He gives me a small, sad smile. Michael and David were close, best friends since childhood. Michael is a lawyer, successful and confident. He flew in from New York as soon as he heard about the accident. Could Michael know something? Did David tell him anything? Then I notice something strange. A man stands far away from the main group, partially hidden behind a large oak tree. He's wearing dark sunglasses and a black suit. He's not someone I recognize. I nudge Jessica. Do you know who that man is? By the tree. Jessica looks where I'm pointing, but her face shows confusion. What man? I don't see anyone. I look again, and the man is gone. Vanished. Like he was never there. My skin prickles with fear. Am I losing my mind? Or was someone really watching me? The burial ceremony ends. People start to leave, coming up to me one by one to offer their condolences. I smile and nod and thank them, but inside I'm screaming. David's father, Robert, puts a heavy hand on my shoulder. Sarah, you'll always be part of our family. If you need anything at all, you call us. Thank you, I whisper. His eyes are cold and distant. I've never felt particularly close to Robert. He always seemed to think I wasn't good enough for his son. David was supposed to marry someone from a wealthy family, someone who could help advance his career. Instead, he married an elementary school teacher. Could Robert be involved in whatever is happening? Then David's best friend from work, Tom Bradley, approaches me. Tom is tall and handsome, with slicked back blonde hair and an expensive suit. He works at the same accounting firm as David. Sarah, I can't believe he's gone, Tom says, but something about his voice sounds fake. David was like a brother to me. If there's anything you need, please let me know. Actually, I say carefully, do you know if David was worried about anything at work? He seemed stressed lately. Tom's face changes for just a second, a flash of something that might be fear or guilt. But then he smiles. Stressed? No, nothing unusual. Just the normal work pressure, you know. Big client deadlines. He's lying. I can tell he's lying. Tom, I press. If there was something wrong, something David was worried about, I need to know. Tom's smile fades. He leans closer and whispers, "Let it go, Sarah. For your own safety, just let it go." Then he walks away quickly, leaving me frozen in place. For my own safety. That night, I can't sleep. I lie in bed in the dark, David's side of the bed cold and empty. Every sound makes me jump. Every shadow seems to hide a threat. At midnight, my phone buzzes. Another message from David's number. Tomorrow night. Midnight. Go to the old warehouse on Fisher Street, the one near the docks. Come alone. Tell no one. Your life depends on it. My heart pounds so hard I think it might burst from my chest. This is insane. This is impossible. But what if it's real? What if David really is alive? What if I'm walking into a trap? I stare at the ceiling, my mind racing. David is dead. I saw his wedding ring on a burned hand. The police confirmed it. The medical examiner confirmed it. But that text message, those words, they sound exactly like David. The way he writes, the way he expresses himself. I grab my phone and type, "How do I know this is really you?" The response comes quickly. "Remember our first date? You wore a blue dress. We went to Luigi's restaurant. You ordered lasagna but couldn't finish it, so I ate the rest. Afterward, we walked in the rain and you said it was the most perfect night of your life." Tears stream down my face. No one else knows those details. Jessica knows we went to Luigi's, but not what I ordered. Not what we talked about. Not what I said in that private moment. This is either really David, or someone who knows our deepest secrets. Another message. I know you're scared. I'm scared too. But I need you to trust me one more time. Please. Sarah. Tomorrow night. Midnight. The warehouse. This is the only way I can explain everything. I type back. If you're really alive, why did you let me think you were dead? Why didn't you tell me? To protect you. They would have killed you too if they knew you were involved. I'm so sorry, Sarah. I had to make them think I was dead. But now they're getting suspicious. We're running out of time. Who are they? I'll explain tomorrow. Delete these messages. And Sarah, don't tell anyone. Not Jessica. Not your sister. No one. They could be watching. My blood runs cold. What about David's parents? His brother? Trust no one. I mean it. Your life is in danger. The messages stop. I sit in the dark, shaking, trying to make sense of everything. Tomorrow night, I have to decide. Do I go to that warehouse and risk walking into a trap? Or do I ignore the messages and live the rest of my life wondering if my husband really died or if I abandoned him when he needed me most? But as I lie there in the darkness, another terrifying thought creeps into my mind. What if someone broke into the house while David was alive and copied all his messages, all his personal information, learned everything about us? What if this is an elaborate scheme to lure me somewhere isolated where no one can help me? And then, just as I'm about to convince myself not to go, one final message comes through. PS check under the loose floorboard in the closet. The one I was always meaning to fix. You'll find proof. My breath catches. No one knows about that loose floorboard except David and me. It's in the back corner of our bedroom closet, hidden under a pile of old shoes. David kept meaning to fix it, but never got around to it. With shaking hands, I get out of bed and go to the closet. I push aside the shoes and press down on the floorboard. It shifts under my fingers. I lift it up. Underneath, there's a small metal box I've never seen before. With trembling fingers, I pull it out and open it. Inside, there's a flash drive, a thick envelope of cash, at least $10,000, and a note in David's handwriting. Sarah, if you're reading this, then everything has gone wrong. I've gotten involved in something terrible, and I couldn't tell you because I was trying to protect you. The flash drive contains evidence of crimes at Henderson and Associates, money laundering, fraud, connections to dangerous people. I was going to turn it over to the FBI, but someone found out. I'm so sorry I dragged you into this. If anything happens to me, take this evidence and give it to Agent Maria Torres at the FBI. Her number is 555-0147. Don't trust anyone else. Not the local police. Not my coworkers. Not even my family. Some of them might be involved. I love you forever. D. The note falls from my hands. David was an accountant. A quiet, boring accountant who did taxes and financial reports. How did he get mixed up in money laundering and fraud? And if this note is real, if he really was planning to turn evidence over to the FBI, then maybe his car crash wasn't an accident. Maybe someone tried to kill him. And maybe, just maybe, he survived. I look at the cash, the flash drive, the note. This is real. This is actually happening. Tomorrow night at midnight, I'll go to that warehouse. But I won't go unprepared. I pick up my phone and take photos of the note, hiding the evidence in a cloud storage account David doesn't know about, just in case. Then I put everything back under the floorboard. As I crawl back into bed, one thought keeps circling through my mind. If David is alive and in hiding, who did they bury today? Whose body is in that casket? And somewhere in this city, possibly watching me right now, is someone who wanted my husband dead. Someone who might want me dead too. I close my eyes, but I know I won't sleep tonight. Because in 24 hours, at midnight, I'll learn the truth. Whatever that truth may be. The morning sun comes through my bedroom window, but I feel like I haven't slept at all. My eyes are heavy and my body aches. I look at the clock. 7:30 in the morning. Less than 17 hours until midnight. I get out of bed and walk like a zombie to the bathroom. When I look in the mirror, I barely recognize myself. My face is pale. My eyes have dark circles under them. My hair is a mess. But I'm alive. And maybe, just maybe, so is David. I take a shower, letting the hot water wake me up. My mind is spinning with questions. If David is really alive, where has he been for 3 days? Why hasn't he called me instead of sending cryptic text messages? And most importantly, Who is he hiding from? The note mentioned Henderson and Associates, the accounting firm where David works. Money laundering. Fraud. Dangerous people. I need to know more. After getting dressed in jeans and a sweater, I go downstairs. My sister Amy is in the kitchen making coffee. Morning, she says softly. How are you feeling? Terrible, I answer honestly. At least that part isn't a lie. Amy pours me a cup of coffee. That's normal. The first few days after losing someone are the hardest. But you're not alone, Sarah. I'm here for you. Guilt twists in my stomach. Amy is trying to help me, but I can't tell her the truth. David's message was clear. Trust no one. Amy, I say carefully, I think I need some time alone today. Just to process everything. She looks worried. Are you sure? I don't think you should be by yourself right now. Please, I insist. I need space to grieve. I'll be okay. Amy doesn't look happy about it, but she nods. Okay. But call me if you need anything. Promise. I promise. After Amy leaves, I'm finally alone. I grab my laptop and sit at the kitchen table. My hands shake as I type Henderson and Associates accounting firm into the search engine. The company website looks normal. Professional photos of the office. Smiling faces of employees. Services offered, tax preparation, auditing, financial consulting. Nothing suspicious. But then I add Henderson and Associates scandal to my search. The results make my blood run cold. There are several news articles from 2 months ago. The headlines scream. Federal investigation into Henderson and Associates. Major accounting firm under scrutiny for possible fraud. FBI raids Henderson and Associates offices. I click on the first article and read quickly. The FBI raided the company's offices looking for evidence of money laundering and fraud. The company's president, Richard Henderson, denied all accusations. The investigation is still ongoing. David never told me about any of this. I keep reading. According to the articles, Henderson and Associates might have been helping criminals hide their money by creating fake companies and false financial records. The FBI believes someone inside the company is cooperating with them, providing evidence. Was that someone David? My phone rings, making me jump so badly I almost knock over my coffee. It's Tom Bradley, David's co-worker. The same Tom who told me yesterday to let it go for my own safety. I stare at the ringing phone. Should I answer? On the 4th ring, I pick up. Hello. Sarah, it's Tom. His voice sounds strange. Nervous. I need to talk to you. It's important. Can we meet? My heart pounds. What's this about? Not over the phone. Please. Can you meet me at Riverside Park in 1 hour? Near the fountain. Every instinct tells me this is dangerous. But I need answers. Okay. 1 hour. Come alone, Tom adds quickly. Don't tell anyone. The line goes dead. Riverside Park is busy with people jogging, walking dogs, and children playing. I sit on a bench near the fountain, watching everyone around me with suspicious eyes. Is that man reading the newspaper actually watching me? Is that woman with the stroller really a mother, or someone pretending to be? I'm starting to feel paranoid. But David's message said they're watching me. Maybe paranoid is the right way to feel. Tom arrives exactly on time. He sits next to me on the bench, but doesn't look at me. He stares straight ahead, like we're strangers who just happen to be sitting near each other. Thank you for coming, he says quietly. What do you want, Tom? I need to know what David told you before he died. Nothing, I lie. Why? Tom's jaw tightens. Don't play games, Sarah. This is serious. David was collecting evidence against the company. Evidence that could send a lot of powerful people to prison. Did he give you anything? Files. Documents. A flash drive. My stomach drops. How does Tom know about the flash drive? I don't know what you're talking about, I say, trying to keep my voice steady. Tom finally turns to look at me. His eyes are desperate. Sarah, listen to me. There are people who will hurt you to get that evidence. Very bad people. If David gave you anything, you need to give it to me. I can protect you. Protect me. Like you protected David. The words come out before I can stop them. Tom's face goes white. What do you mean? David's car crash, I say. Was it really an accident? Tom looks around nervously, then leans closer. You need to stop asking questions. Forget about David. Forget about everything. Move on with your life while you still can. Is that a threat? It's a warning. Tom stands up. I'm trying to help you, Sarah. But I can't protect you if you keep digging. Let the dead rest in peace. He walks away quickly, leaving me alone on the bench. My hands are shaking. Tom basically just confirmed that David's death wasn't an accident. And he knows about the evidence. But is Tom one of the bad guys? Or is he just scared? I pull out my phone and look at the note again. Agent Maria Torres, FBI. Phone number 555-0147. Should I call her? David said to give her the evidence if anything happened to him. But the text messages from David told me to come to the warehouse tonight. He said he'd explain everything. I need to make a decision. Do I trust the FBI agent David mentioned, or do I wait to hear from David himself? Before I can decide, I notice something that makes my heart stop. The man who was reading the newspaper is now standing about 50 feet away, talking on his phone and looking directly at me. And behind him, partially hidden behind a tree, is the same man I saw at the cemetery yesterday. The one in dark sunglasses. They're following me. I stand up quickly and start walking toward the park exit, trying not to run. My heart races. I pull out my phone and pretend to be looking at something on the screen, but really I'm watching the reflection in the glass. The man in sunglasses is following me. I walk faster. The park exit leads to a busy street with shops and restaurants. Surely they won't try anything with so many people around. I reach the street and duck into a coffee shop. Inside, I find a seat near the window where I can watch the door. My hands shake as I order a coffee I don't want. The man in sunglasses walks past the coffee shop, looks inside, and keeps walking. My phone buzzes. Another text from David's number. They found you. They know you have the evidence. You're not safe. Go to Jessica's house now. Don't go home. Tears fill my eyes. This is really happening. I'm being hunted. I leave money on the table and rush out of the coffee shop. Jessica lives 15 minutes away by car. My car is parked 2 blocks from here. I walk quickly, checking behind me every few seconds. People crowd the sidewalk, office workers on lunch break, tourists taking photos, delivery people rushing by. Any one of them could be watching me. I reach my car and get inside, locking the doors immediately. My hands shake so badly I can barely get the key in the ignition. As I drive toward Jessica's house, I keep checking the rearview mirror. A black SUV with tinted windows seems to be following me. It stays 2 cars behind, matching my every turn. My mouth goes dry. I make a sudden right turn without signaling. The black SUV follows. I speed up, my heart pounding. I run a yellow light that's almost red. The SUV runs the red light and keeps following. No, 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 I whisper, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turn white. I make 3 more random turns, trying to lose them. Finally, the SUV disappears from my mirror. But I don't feel safe. I drive in circles for 10 more minutes, making sure no one is following me, before finally heading to Jessica's house. Jessica lives in a small apartment downtown. When she opens the door and sees my face, she immediately pulls me inside. Sarah, what happened? You look terrified. I collapse on her couch, and suddenly I'm crying. All the fear and stress pour out of me in huge, gasping sobs. Jessica sits next to me and holds me. It's okay. You're safe here. Tell me what's going on. For a moment, I almost tell her everything. Jessica has been my best friend since college. We tell each other everything. But David's words echo in my mind. Trust no one. I miss him so much, I sob. It's not a lie. Even if David is alive, I miss the normal life we had. I miss feeling safe. Jessica hugs me tighter. I know, sweetie. I know. I spend the next few hours at Jessica's apartment, trying to act normal while my mind races with plans for tonight. At 7 o'clock, Jessica makes dinner. I force myself to eat, even though the food tastes like cardboard. You can stay here tonight, Jessica offers. You shouldn't be alone. Maybe, I say. But I know I can't stay. I have to leave before midnight. At 9 o'clock, Jessica's phone rings. She answers it, then her face changes. Yes, she's here. Okay. I'll tell her. She hangs up and looks at me strangely. That was your sister. She said she's been trying to call you, but you're not answering. My stomach drops. I pull out my phone and see 5 missed calls from Amy. She sounds really worried, Jessica continues. She said you need to call her back immediately. It's about David. What about David? She didn't say. Just that it's urgent. With shaking hands, I call Amy back. She answers on the first ring. Sarah. Finally. Where have you been? At Jessica's. What's wrong? Amy's voice is strange, excited and scared at the same time. Something happened. The police just called me looking for you. Sarah, they found David's wallet. What? Where? At a motel on Highway 9. The Starlight Motel. The police said someone checked in there yesterday using David's credit card. They want to talk to you. They think maybe David's death wasn't an accident. They think someone might have stolen his identity. My mind spins. Someone used David's credit card yesterday, 2 days after he supposedly died? What did you tell them? I ask. Nothing yet. I said I'd find you and bring you to the police station. Sarah, what's going on? This is so weird. I don't know, I lie. Listen, I'll meet you at the police station in an hour, okay? Okay. Be careful, Sarah. I hang up and look at Jessica. Her face is full of concern and questions. I have to go, I tell her. Do you want me to come with you? No. I'll be okay. But as I drive away from Jessica's apartment, I'm not going to the police station. I'm going to the Starlight Motel. The Starlight Motel is a rundown place on the edge of town. Flickering neon lights spell out vacancy. Only 3 cars sit in the parking lot. I park my car and sit there for a moment, trying to gather my courage. If David is alive, is he here? Did he check into this motel? Or is this another trap? I look at the time on my phone, 10:47 p.m. I still have time before I'm supposed to meet David at the warehouse at midnight. But if there's a chance he's here right now, I have to know. I get out of my car and walk to the motel office. A tired-looking woman with gray hair sits behind the desk, watching a small TV. Excuse me, I say. I'm looking for my husband. I think he might have checked in here yesterday. His name is David Miller. The woman looks at me with suspicious eyes. The police were already here asking about that. I told them, a man checked in yesterday afternoon using that name and credit card. Room 12. But when we knocked on the door this morning, the room was empty. He left without checking out. Can I see the room? She shakes her head. Police said not to let anyone in there. They're coming back tomorrow to investigate. I thank her and walk back outside, but I don't go to my car. Instead, I walk along the row of motel rooms until I find room 12. The door is closed. There's police tape across it that says, "Do not cross." I look around. No one is watching. The motel office is on the other side of the building. The parking lot is empty. Before I can talk myself out of it, I duck under the police tape and try the door handle. It's unlocked. My heart pounds as I push the door open and step inside. The room is dark. I use my phone's flashlight to look around. The bed is unmade. There are food wrappers on the table. Chinese takeout from a restaurant I recognize. David's favorite restaurant. On the nightstand, there's something that makes my breath catch. A piece of paper with handwriting on it. I pick it up with trembling hands and read. Sarah, if you're reading this, then you found me. Or found where I was. I can't stay here, it's not safe. By the time you find this note, I'll be gone. But I'll be at the warehouse tonight at midnight, just like I promised. This is almost over. Soon you'll know everything. Trust no one until then. I love you. D. Tears stream down my face. This is really David's handwriting. He really is alive. But he left this room. Where did he go? Suddenly, I hear footsteps outside the motel room. I freeze. The footsteps stop right outside the door. The door handle starts to turn. I look around desperately for somewhere to hide, but there's nowhere to go. The bathroom. The closet. The door swings open, and a dark figure steps inside. I open my mouth to scream, but a hand clamps over it. Shoo! A man's voice whispers urgently. Don't scream. It's me. The figure steps into the light from my phone. It's Tom Bradley. He removes his hand from my mouth. What are you doing here? He demands. I could ask you the same thing. I shoot back, my heart racing. I followed you from Jessica's apartment. Sarah, you need to listen to me. David is in serious danger. If you know where he is, you need to tell me right now. Why should I trust you? Tom grabs my shoulders. Because I was helping him. David and I were working together to expose Henderson and Associates. We've been gathering evidence for months. But someone found out. They tried to kill David. The car crash was supposed to kill him, but somehow he survived. How do you know he survived? Tom pulls out his phone and shows me a text message from a number I don't recognize. I'm alive. Staying hidden. Don't tell Sarah. It's safer if she doesn't know. We'll contact you soon. The message was sent yesterday. David sent me this, Tom says. He's alive, Sarah. But the people hunting him don't know that yet. They think he died in that crash. If they find out he survived, they'll come after him again. And they'll come after anyone who helps him, including you. My head spins. If you're working with David, why didn't he tell me about you? Because he was trying to protect you. The less you knew, the safer you were. But now everything's changed. They know you have evidence. They know you're connected to David. You're in danger. Who are they? Who's behind this? Tom's face goes dark. Richard Henderson, the president of the company. And some very dangerous clients he's been laundering money for. People connected to organized crime. People who kill anyone who gets in their way. A car engine sounds outside. Tom and I both freeze. We need to go, Tom whispers urgently. Now. He grabs my hand and pulls me toward the back window of the motel room. He slides it open and we climb out, dropping into the bushes behind the building. Through the bushes, I see two men in dark suits enter room 12, the room we just escaped from. Tom pulls me deeper into the shadows, and we run to where his car is parked on a side street. We get in and he drives away quickly, but not too quickly, trying not to attract attention. Where are we going? I ask, breathless. Tom checks his watch. It's 11:25. Where were you supposed to meet David? I hesitate. Can I trust Tom? David's note said trust no one. But Tom just saved me from those men. The old warehouse on Fisher Street, I finally say. At midnight. Tom's face goes pale. No. That's a trap. What? Think about it, Sarah. David would never ask you to meet him in an abandoned warehouse in the middle of the night. It's too dangerous. Too exposed. Someone else sent you those messages. But they knew things. Private things about us. They must have gotten into David's phone records, his emails, maybe even bugged your house. These people are professionals. My world tilts. Could Tom be right? Could I have been fooled? So where is David really? I don't know. He hasn't contacted me since yesterday. But I know he wouldn't put you in danger like that. The warehouse is a trap. They're luring you there. I feel sick. But what if you're wrong? What if David really is there, waiting for me? Tom pulls the car over and looks at me seriously. Then we'll both go and find out. But we're going early, and we're going careful. If it's a trap, we'll see it coming. He starts driving toward Fisher Street. As we get closer to the warehouse, my phone buzzes one more time. A message from David's number. I'm here. I'm waiting. Where are you? I show the message to Tom. His face hardens. It's 11:40. The message said midnight. If David was really there, he'd wait until midnight, not text you early. Someone's getting impatient. We park 2 blocks away from the warehouse and approach on foot, staying in the shadows. The warehouse looms ahead, a massive, dark building surrounded by a chain-link fence. Tom hands me something small and heavy. I look down and see it's a can of pepper spray. Just in case, he whispers. We creep closer. The warehouse has several broken windows and one large door hanging open. Inside, it's pitch black. Do you see anyone? I whisper. Tom shakes his head. We wait in the shadows, watching. 11:55. 11:58. Midnight. Nothing happens. Maybe they're inside, I whisper. Or maybe, Tom starts to say. Suddenly, bright lights flood the area around the warehouse. Car headlights, at least 5 vehicles, surround the building. Men in dark clothes pour out of the cars, at least a dozen of them. Tom grabs my arm. Run. We turn to run back the way we came, but there are more men behind us, cutting off our escape. We're surrounded. A man steps forward from the group. He's tall, with silver hair and an expensive suit. I recognize him from the company website. Richard Henderson himself. Mrs. Miller, he says with a cold smile. So nice of you to join us. And Tom, what a surprise. I had a feeling you might try to play hero. Let her go, Tom says. This is between you and me. Richard laughs. I'm afraid it's too late for that. You see, Mrs. Miller has something that belongs to me. Evidence that could ruin me. And I want it back. I don't have anything. I shout. Don't lie to me. Richard's voice turns sharp. David hid a flash drive with financial records, communications, proof of every illegal transaction we've made. He was going to give it to the FBI. But then David had his unfortunate accident. Richard smiles cruelly. Or at least, he was supposed to. My blood runs cold. What do you mean? Richard's smile fades. David survived the crash. We found out too late. He pulled himself out of the river before the car exploded. Clever boy. He even put someone else's body in the car to make it look like he died. Some homeless man he probably paid off who died of natural causes. Very clever indeed. So the body at the funeral wasn't David. I knew it. Where is he? I demand. Where's my husband? Richard steps closer. That's what I want to know. You see, David has been quite elusive. But we figured he'd eventually contact you. And we were right. Those text messages you've been receiving? Those were from us. We hacked his phone account. Every message was designed to lead you here, where we could have a nice private conversation about where your husband is hiding and where he's hidden that flash drive. The world spins. Tom was right. It was all a trap. I don't know where he is, I say truthfully. I haven't seen him since the day of the accident. Richard studies my face. You know, I almost believe you. Which means David is smarter than I gave him credit for. He stayed away from you to keep you safe. He signals to his men. Search her. And search Tom too. If either of them has that flash drive, I want it. 2 men grab me. I try to fight, but they're too strong. They search through my pockets, my purse, everything. Nothing. One of them reports. Richard's face darkens. Then we'll have to do this another way. Bring them inside. The men drag Tom and me toward the warehouse. I scream, but we're in an industrial area. There's no one around to hear. Just as they're about to push us through the warehouse door, shots ring out. Bang, bang, bang. Everyone ducks. The men holding me and Tom let go as chaos erupts. More shots. One of Richard's men falls. It's the police, someone shouts. Police cars screech into the area from all directions, sirens wailing. Officers pour out, guns drawn. FBI. Everyone on the ground. In the confusion, Tom grabs my hand. Run. We bolt toward the nearest alley as gunfire continues behind us. Police are shouting. Richard's men are shouting back. We run through dark streets, not stopping until we're 10 blocks away. Finally, we collapse behind a dumpster, gasping for breath. How did the police know? I pant. Tom pulls out his phone. I called them. Right before we got to the warehouse. I told them about the trap. But won't they arrest us too? Eventually they'll want to question us. But first, they need to deal with Richard and his men. Tom looks at me seriously. Sarah, you need to disappear. Tonight. Right now. Get far away from here until this is over. But what about David? I need to find him. Tom grabs my shoulders. David will find you when it's safe. But right now you need to. His words are cut off by a sound that makes my heart stop. My phone is ringing. Not buzzing with a text. Actually ringing. I look at the screen. It says, David, mobile. With shaking hands, I answer. Hello. Sarah. The voice is unmistakable. It's David. Really David. His actual voice. Tears pour down my face. David. Oh my God, is it really you? It's really me, baby. Listen carefully. I don't have much time. I've been hiding in our lake house, the one we rented last summer, remember? I'm alone. I'm safe. But Richard's people might figure out where I am soon. I need you to. The line goes dead. I stare at the phone in horror. Tom looks at me urgently. What did he say? Where is he? The lake house. He's at the lake house. Tom's face goes pale. No. Oh no. Sarah, if Richard was listening to that call, and he probably was, then they know where David is now too. My stomach drops. We have to warn him. The lake house is 2 hours away. Richard's men could get there in half that time if they're already moving. Then we need to go now. Tom nods and we run to his car. As we speed toward the highway, I try calling David back. The phone rings and rings. No answer. I leave a desperate voicemail. David, they might know where you are. Get out of there. Please, get out. We race through the night, going as fast as we dare. Tom's phone suddenly rings. He puts it on speaker. A woman's voice. This is Agent Maria Torres with the FBI. Is this Tom Bradley? Yes, Tom says. We have Richard Henderson and 6 of his associates in custody. But I need you to tell me where David Miller is. He has evidence we need, and he's also in grave danger. Richard had people on standby waiting for David's location. They're mobilizing now. He's at the Lakeside Cabin Rentals, Tom says. Cabin number 12. We're heading there now. Turn around, Agent Torres orders. FBI agents are already en route. You'll only put yourselves in danger. Let us handle this. We're not turning around, I say firmly. That's my husband. Agent Torres sighs. Then be careful. And Mrs. Miller, I'm sorry for everything you've been through. Your husband is a brave man. The evidence he gathered will put away some very dangerous people. The call ends. We drive in tense silence, the speedometer pushing 90 miles per hour. I keep trying to call David. No answer. Finally, after what feels like forever, we see the sign, Lakeside Cabin Rentals, 2 miles. We're almost there. Tom slows down as we approach, turning off his headlights. We don't want to announce our arrival. The lake house community is dark and quiet. It's off-season, so most of the cabins are empty. We park and get out quietly. Cabin 12 is at the end of a row, backing up to the lake itself. As we creep closer, I see lights on inside. And I see something else that makes my blood run cold. A black SUV is parked outside. The same black SUV that followed me earlier today. We're too late. They're already here. Tom and I crouch behind a tree. Through the cabin window, I can see shadows moving inside. Shapes of people. At least 3, maybe 4. We need to call the FBI, Tom whispers. Tell them to hurry. But before he can pull out his phone, the cabin door bursts open. 2 men in dark clothes drag someone out. Even in the darkness, I recognize him immediately. David. He's alive. He's real. And they have him. One of the men holds a gun to David's head. No. I scream before I can stop myself. Everyone turns to look at me. David's eyes go wide with horror. Sarah. No. Run. But I can't run. I can't leave him. I step out from behind the tree, my hands raised. Let him go, I say, my voice shaking but determined. Please. Let him go. I'll give you whatever you want. The man holding David laughs. What we want is simple, Mrs. Miller. We want the flash drive. And we want both of you dead so you can't testify against Mr. Henderson. He raises the gun, pointing it at David's head. And then, the man's finger tightens on the trigger. Time seems to slow down. I see David's face, scared but also filled with love as he looks at me. I see the moonlight reflecting off the lake. I hear Tom breathing beside me. And then I hear something else. Sirens. Lots of sirens. Getting closer. The man with the gun hesitates, looking toward the road. Red and blue lights flash through the trees. Police cars and black FBI vehicles swarm into the cabin area, at least 10 of them. FBI. Drop your weapons. A voice booms through a megaphone. The man holding David looks panicked. He backs toward the SUV, dragging David with him. The other man runs for the vehicle too. Stop right there, the FBI voice commands. Gunshots explode through the night. The FBI agents are shooting at the SUV's tires. The men let go of David and dive into the vehicle. The SUV's engine roars to life. Even with flat tires, they try to escape, the vehicle lurching and scraping as it speeds away. But they don't get far. An FBI vehicle blocks the road. The SUV crashes into it with a horrible crunching sound. FBI agents surround the crashed vehicle, guns drawn. They pull the 2 men out and handcuff them. And David, my David, stands there by the cabin, alive and real. I run to him. He turns and sees me running, and his face transforms. All the fear disappears, replaced by pure joy. We crash into each other's arms, both of us crying. You're alive, I sob into his chest. You're really alive. I'm so sorry, he says, holding me so tightly I can barely breathe. I'm so sorry I put you through this. I'm so sorry. We hold each other as FBI agents swarm around us, securing the scene. Tom approaches slowly, giving us space. A woman in a dark FBI jacket walks up to us. She's in her 40s with short black hair and kind eyes. Mrs. Miller? I'm Agent Maria Torres. I'm sorry to interrupt, but we need to get all of you somewhere safe. There may be more of Henderson's people out there. David nods, but he doesn't let go of my hand. We follow Agent Torres to one of the FBI vehicles. Tom comes with us. As we drive away from the lake house, I finally look at David, really look at him. He has bruises on his face. His clothes are dirty and torn. He looks like he hasn't slept in days. But he's alive. That's all that matters. I have so many questions, I whisper. I know, David says softly. And I'll answer all of them. I promise. The FBI takes us to a safe house, a normal-looking home in a quiet neighborhood. But I notice the agents posted outside and the security cameras everywhere. Inside, Agent Torres sits us down in the living room. Another agent brings us water and sandwiches. I realize I haven't eaten anything real in hours. David sits next to me on the couch, still holding my hand like he's afraid I'll disappear if he lets go. Okay, Agent Torres says, sitting across from us. Let's start from the beginning. David, why don't you tell Sarah everything? She deserves to know. David takes a deep breath. 6 months ago, I noticed something strange at work. Numbers weren't adding up in some of our client accounts. At first, I thought it was just mistakes, accounting errors that needed to be fixed. But it wasn't mistakes, I say quietly. No. David shakes his head. The more I looked, the more I realized it was deliberate. Someone was moving money around, hiding it, making it look legitimate when it wasn't. I started investigating on my own, staying late at the office, copying files. That's when David came to us, Agent Torres adds. He contacted the FBI 2 months ago with his suspicions. We asked him to keep working at Henderson and Associates and gather more evidence. My eyes widen. You mean David was working undercover? Sort of, Agent Torres says. He wasn't an official agent, but he was cooperating with our investigation. We needed someone on the inside who could access the files. David squeezes my hand. I wanted to tell you, Sarah. Every day I wanted to tell you. But the FBI said it was too dangerous. If anyone found out you knew, they might hurt you to get to me. And they almost did hurt her, Tom says from where he's sitting in a chair nearby. They've been following her, threatening her. We know, Agent Torres says grimly. And I'm sorry for that, Mrs. Miller. We were trying to move quickly to shut down the operation, but Henderson found out about David before we could act. The car crash, I say. That wasn't an accident. David's face goes dark. No. That morning, I got a message from someone I thought was a fellow accountant who wanted to meet me on Miller Bridge to discuss some files. When I got there, another car rammed me from behind. My car went through the barrier and into the river. My hand flies to my mouth. Oh my God, David. The water was freezing, he continues, his voice shaking with the memory. The car was sinking fast. But I managed to get the door open and swim out. I stayed underwater as long as I could, hiding behind the bridge supports. I heard them up above, talking. They said, "He's dead. The car's on fire. Let's go." But you weren't dead, I whisper. No. But I realized if they thought I was dead, I'd have time to hide and figure out what to do. So I swam downstream and climbed out far from the bridge. I was hurt, broken ribs, cuts everywhere, but I was alive. The body in the car, Agent Torres says. We've identified it. A homeless man named Peter Simmons. He died of natural causes 2 days before the crash. Someone, probably Henderson's people, stole his body from the morgue and put him in David's car to make the death look convincing. I feel sick. That's horrible. I found the flash drive David hid, I tell them. And the note. It's under the floorboard at home. Agent Torres nods. We'll need to retrieve that. The evidence on that drive, combined with David's testimony, will put Richard Henderson and several of his associates away for a very long time. But why was Henderson doing all this? I ask. Money laundering for who? Drug cartels mostly, Agent Torres explains. But also some organized crime families and corrupt politicians. Henderson and Associates was washing millions of dollars a month. They'd create fake companies, fake transactions, make dirty money look clean. Henderson was getting rich off the fees. David pulls out his own phone, a different one than he used to have. After the crash, I went to the cabin. I had cash hidden there from before, just in case. I've been living off that, too scared to use credit cards or contact anyone. But I couldn't stop thinking about Sarah. I needed her to know I was alive. But you didn't send those text messages, I say. Henderson did. What? David looks confused. Agent Torres explains. Henderson hacked David's old phone account. Every message you received claiming to be from David was actually from Henderson's people, trying to lure you into a trap. David's face goes white. Sarah, I'm so sorry. I didn't know they were contacting you. I stayed away specifically to keep you safe. Then who called me tonight? I ask. On the phone. I heard your voice. That was really me, David says. I was using a burner phone. I saw on the news that the FBI had raided the warehouse and arrested some of Henderson's people. I thought maybe it was finally safe to contact you. But I didn't realize they were tracking all calls to your number. As soon as I told you where I was, they knew. Tom leans forward. David, I need to know, did you suspect me? Is that why you didn't tell me where you were? David looks at Tom with sad eyes. I didn't know who I could trust. Henderson has people everywhere. In the company, maybe in the police. I couldn't risk it. I'm sorry, Tom. I know you were trying to help. Henderson had 3 police officers on his payroll, Agent Torres confirms. They've all been arrested tonight. A chill runs down my spine. David was right not to trust anyone. What about David's family? I ask. His parents, his brother Michael? They're not involved, Agent Torres assures me. We've checked everyone close to David. His family is clean. Relief floods through me. At least that's something. Agent Torres stands up. It's late. You 3 should get some rest. We have agents posted all around this house. You're safe here. Tomorrow, we'll need to take formal statements from all of you and retrieve the flash drive. But for tonight, just rest. She leaves the room, closing the door behind her. Tom stands up too. I'm going to find somewhere to sleep. You 2 need time alone. He pats David on the shoulder. I'm glad you're alive, man. Thanks for protecting Sarah, David says. I mean it. Thank you. Tom smiles sadly and leaves. Finally, David and I are alone. We just look at each other for a long moment. Then David starts crying, really crying, his whole body shaking. I thought I'd never see you again, he sobs. I thought they'd kill me, or I'd have to disappear forever. Sarah, I love you so much. I'm so sorry I put you through this nightmare. I pull him close, crying too. You're alive. That's all that matters. You're alive and you're here and we're together. We hold each other and cry for a long time, releasing all the fear and pain of the past few days. Later, we lie together on the couch, wrapped in blankets. I rest my head on David's chest, listening to his heartbeat, the most beautiful sound in the world. I kept your ring, David says softly, showing me his hand. The wedding band still gleams on his finger. Even when I was hiding, even when I thought I might never see you again, I kept it. I never took mine off either, I whisper. Even at the funeral. Even when I thought you were dead. The funeral, David says, and fresh tears fill his eyes. That must have been horrible. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. You were trying to survive. You were trying to do the right thing. But I should have trusted you. I should have told you what was happening from the beginning. I sit up and look at him seriously. David, if you had told me, I might have accidentally said something or done something that put us both in danger. You were protecting me. And in the end, we're both alive. That's what matters. He pulls me back down against his chest. What happens now? Agent Torres said we're safe here. Henderson is in custody. Most of his people are arrested. But not all of them, David says quietly. Henderson has connections everywhere. Some of his associates are still out there. Until the trial is over and everyone is locked up, we won't be completely safe. A cold fear settles in my stomach. How long will that take? Months, maybe. The FBI will want us in witness protection until it's over. Witness protection? You mean we have to leave? Change our names? Start over? David nods slowly. Probably. At least for a while. I think about my job, my students, my sister, Jessica, our home, our life. Everything we've built together. But then I look at David's face. Alive, real, here with me. I don't care, I say firmly. We can start over. We can go anywhere, be anyone. As long as we're together. David kisses my forehead. I love you so much. I love you too. We drift off to sleep like that, holding each other, finally safe. But in the middle of the night, something wakes me up. A sound. A creak. I open my eyes and look around the dark room. David is still asleep next to me, breathing peacefully. Everything looks normal. But something feels wrong. I carefully get up from the couch, trying not to wake David. I walk to the window and peek through the curtains. The FBI agents who were posted outside are gone. No cars. No people. Nothing. My heart starts to race. Where did they go? I walk quietly to the front door and try the handle. It's unlocked. That's wrong. Agent Torres said they'd keep everything locked down tight. I open the door just a crack and look outside. The street is dark and quiet. Too quiet. Then I see it. One of the FBI cars parked down the street. The driver's side door is open. And there's something dark on the ground next to it. Blood. I slam the door shut and run back to the couch. David. I shake him awake. David, wake up. Something's wrong. He jerks awake. What? What's happening? The FBI agents are gone. I think something happened to them. We need to leave. Now. David is on his feet instantly. We run to the back of the house, looking for another way out. Tom appears from one of the bedrooms, looking confused. What's going on? The agents are gone, David says quickly. Someone got to them. Tom's face goes pale. Henderson's people. We hear it then, the sound of the front door opening. Footsteps in the house. Is anyone home? A voice calls out. A voice I recognize. Michael. David's brother. David's face floods with relief. Michael. We're back here. Thank God you. But something in Michael's tone makes me freeze. Michael walks into the room, and he's not alone. 3 men in dark clothes are with him. And they all have guns. Michael looks at David with cold, emotionless eyes. Hello, brother, he says. David stares at him in shock. Michael. What are you doing? Michael laughs, a cruel sound I've never heard from him before. What am I doing? I'm cleaning up a mess. You should have died in that car crash, David. You should have stayed dead. You. David's voice breaks. You're working with Henderson? Working with him? Please. Michael sneers. Henderson works for me. I'm the one who started the money laundering operation. I'm the one who brought in the drug cartel clients. Henderson was just the face of it, a useful idiot who got greedy and sloppy. I feel like the floor is dropping out from under me. You're brothers, I whisper. How could you? Michael looks at me like I'm an insect. Family means nothing when there are millions of dollars at stake, Sarah. I gave David a chance to join me months ago. He refused. Said he wanted to do the right thing. Michael spits out the words like they taste bad. So I had to get rid of him. The car crash, David says, his voice hollow. That was you. Of course it was me. I arranged everything. And when that failed, I've been hunting you ever since. Those text messages to Sarah? My idea. The trap at the warehouse? Mine. I've been playing you both like puppets. Tom steps forward. The FBI arrested Henderson. It's over, Michael. Turn yourself in before this gets worse. Michael laughs again. The FBI arrested a scapegoat. Henderson will take the fall for everything. He doesn't even know I'm the real boss. No one does. And no one will, once you three are dead. He raises his gun, pointing it at David. I'm sorry, brother. But you know too much. David steps in front of me, shielding me with his body. If you're going to kill me, at least let Sarah go. She doesn't know anything. She knows enough, Michael says coldly. Besides, witnesses are liabilities. His finger starts to squeeze the trigger. And then, chaos. Windows shatter as something comes crashing through them. Gas canisters roll across the floor, spewing white smoke everywhere. FBI. Nobody move. Agent Torres's voice booms through the smoke. Dark figures rush into the house. Real FBI agents in full tactical gear. Michael and his men try to shoot, but the smoke is too thick. They can't see anything. Someone grabs me and pulls me down to the floor. Stay down, a voice commands. Gunshots echo through the house. People are shouting. Glass is breaking. I can't see David. I can't see anything through the smoke. David. I scream. Sarah. His voice comes from somewhere to my left. I'm here. I'm okay. The smoke starts to clear. FBI agents have Michael and his men on the ground, handcuffing them. Agent Torres appears through the smoke, helping David to his feet. Tom is okay too, being checked over by an agent. We had the house under surveillance, Agent Torres explains quickly. We suspected there might be another attempt. When we saw Michael arrive with armed men, we moved in. Michael is dragged past us, fighting against the handcuffs. He looks at David with pure hatred. This isn't over, Michael snarls. I have friends. Powerful friends. They'll finish what I started. Your friends are already being rounded up, Agent Torres says coldly. We've been monitoring your communications for weeks, Mr. Miller. We know about all of them. Michael's face goes white as he realizes the truth. The FBI knew about him all along. They were just waiting for him to reveal himself. As they drag him away, David collapses against me, shaking. My own brother, he whispers. My own brother tried to kill me. I hold him tight, not knowing what to say. How do you comfort someone whose family betrayed them? Agent Torres approaches us gently. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. We suspected Michael was involved, but we needed proof. We had to let him make a move. You used us as bait, David says, his voice hollow. We had agents watching the whole time. You were never in real danger. It didn't feel that way, I say sharply. Agent Torres nods. You're right. I'm sorry. But it's over now. Michael, Henderson, and 17 of their associates are in custody. The cartel bosses they were working with are being arrested as we speak. It's over. But looking at David's broken expression, I wonder if it will ever really be over. The brother he loved, the brother he trusted, was trying to kill him this whole time. 3 days later, David and I sit in a conference room at FBI headquarters. The walls are white and plain. A long table stretches in front of us covered with papers and files. Agent Torres sits across from us with another agent, a man named Agent Johnson who specializes in witness protection. We've recovered the flash drive from your house, Agent Torres says, sliding a clear evidence bag across the table. Inside is the small flash drive David hid under the floorboard. The evidence on here, combined with your testimony, is more than enough to convict everyone involved. David stares at the flash drive, that tiny piece of metal and plastic that caused so much pain. How long will the trial take? Several months, probably, Agent Johnson says. Michael and Henderson are both facing multiple charges: money laundering, attempted murder, conspiracy, fraud. We have 17 other defendants as well. It's going to be a big case. And during that time? I ask quietly. During that time, we recommend you both enter the Witness Protection Program, Agent Torres says. You'll be relocated to a new city with new identities. You'll have to leave your old lives behind, at least temporarily. David reaches for my hand under the table. For how long? Until everyone is convicted and sentenced. After that, it depends. Some people in witness protection choose to keep their new identities permanently. Others feel safe enough to reclaim their old lives. I think about my students at Riverside Elementary. About my sister Amy. About Jessica. About our house and our neighborhood and everything familiar. Can we tell our families where we're going? I ask. Agent Johnson shakes his head. I'm afraid not. The fewer people who know, the safer you'll be. Michael had connections to some very dangerous organizations. Even with him in custody, there could be people who want revenge. David's hand tightens around mine. My parents just found out their son is alive, and now we have to disappear again? I know this is hard, Agent Torres says gently. But it's necessary. Michael's cartel connections don't forgive people who testify against them. David and I look at each other. We don't need words. We can read each other's thoughts in our eyes. Okay, David says finally. We'll do it. 2 weeks later. We stand in our house for the last time. Most of our belongings are packed in boxes, being sent to storage. We can only take what fits in 2 suitcases, the FBI's rules for witness protection. I walk through each room slowly, remembering. The kitchen where David proposed to me. The living room where we watched movies every Friday night. The bedroom where we dreamed about our future. It's just for a while, David says, coming up behind me and wrapping his arms around my waist. We'll come back someday. I know. But my voice cracks. There's a knock at the door. It's Jessica and my sister Amy. We invited them over to say goodbye, though we can't tell them why or where we're going. I don't understand, Amy says, tears streaming down her face. Why do you have to leave? Where are you going? I can't explain everything, I tell her, hugging her tight. Just know that we're safe and we're together. And we'll come back when we can. Jessica hugs David, then me. This is about the case, isn't it? The FBI stuff. We can't answer directly, but our faces tell her enough. Be safe, Jessica whispers. Both of you. Tom comes by next. He's not entering witness protection. His testimony isn't as crucial, and he wasn't directly threatened like we were. Take care of her, Tom tells David. Always, David promises. Then come the hardest goodbyes. David's parents. His mother, Margaret, cries so hard she can barely speak. I just got you back, she sobs to David. I buried you. I mourned you. And now you're leaving again. David holds her, tears running down his own face. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. But we'll be together again. I promise. David's father, Robert, stands stiff and uncomfortable. He's never been good with emotions. But when David reaches out to hug him, Robert breaks down and hugs his son tight. I'm proud of you, Robert says quietly. What you did, standing up to Michael, gathering that evidence, that took real courage. It's the first time I've ever heard Robert say he's proud of David. Michael made his own choices, Robert continues, his voice heavy with pain. This isn't your fault, son. You did the right thing. David nods, unable to speak. We don't see Michael, of course. He's in a maximum security prison, awaiting trial. David says he doesn't want to see him anyway. But I know it hurts. The betrayal cuts deeper than any wound. Finally, everyone leaves. David and I stand alone in our empty house. An FBI car waits outside to take us to our new life. "Are you ready?" David asks me. I look around one more time, memorizing every detail. Then I look at David, my husband, my best friend, the man I almost lost. "As long as I'm with you, I'm ready for anything." He kisses me softly. "Let's go start our new life." We walk out together, closing the door behind us. 6 months later, somewhere in the Midwest. Our new apartment is small but cozy. It's in a quiet town where nobody knows us, where nobody asks too many questions. My name is now Emma Thompson. David is now James Thompson. We have new jobs, new friends, new routines. I work at the local library. David works as a bookkeeper for a small business. They're not the careers we had before, but they're honest work and they make us happy. Every morning, we wake up together. Every night, we fall asleep in each other's arms. We don't take a single day for granted. The trial started 3 months ago. Agent Torres calls us with updates. Michael refused a plea deal. He's fighting the charges, claiming he was framed. But the evidence is overwhelming. Henderson took a plea deal and is testifying against everyone else. He'll spend 20 years in prison instead of life. The cartel bosses are being tried separately. Their cases are even bigger than Michael's. When do we have to testify? I ask Agent Torres during one call. Probably in another month or 2. We'll fly you to the trial under heavy security. You'll testify and then return to your new location. After the call ends, David and I sit on our couch. He's been quiet lately, thoughtful. "What are you thinking about?" I ask. "Michael," he admits. "I keep wondering if I missed signs. If I could have helped him before it got this bad." David, Michael made his own choices. He chose money over family. He chose crime over honesty. That's not on you. I know. But he's still my brother. Part of me still loves him. Even after everything. I understand. Family bonds are complicated. Even when someone hurts you terribly, you can't always just stop caring about them. Maybe someday you'll be able to forgive him, I say. Not for his sake, but for yours. So you can find peace. David nods slowly. Maybe. Someday. 2 months later. The courtroom is packed with people. Reporters fill the back rows. Michael sits at the defendant's table in an orange prison jumpsuit, his hands cuffed. When he sees David walk in, his face shows no emotion. It's like looking at a stranger. David takes the witness stand. For 3 hours, he testifies about everything. How he discovered the money laundering, how he gathered evidence, how Michael tried to have him killed. His voice never wavers. He tells the truth clearly and calmly. When it's my turn, I testify about the text messages, the warehouse trap, the night at the lake house. I tell them about the terror of thinking my husband was dead, then finding out he was alive, then discovering his own brother wanted him dead. The jury listens to every word. Michael's lawyer tries to poke holes in our testimony, but the evidence is too strong. The flash drive, the financial records, the testimony from Henderson and others, it all fits together perfectly. On the final day of the trial, both sides give their closing arguments. Then we wait. The jury deliberates for 2 days. David and I stay in a hotel under FBI protection, barely sleeping, barely eating. Finally, the call comes. The jury has reached a verdict. We rush back to the courtroom. The room is silent as the jury foreman stands. On the charge of money laundering, we find the defendant guilty. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, we find the defendant guilty. On the charge of fraud, we find the defendant guilty. 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 Every single charge. Michael shows no reaction. He just stares straight ahead, his face blank. The judge schedules sentencing for 2 weeks later. Outside the courtroom, Agent Torres finds us. It's over. You did it. Michael and everyone else involved will go to prison for a very long time. David doesn't look happy. He just looks tired and sad. What happens now? I ask. That's up to you, Agent Torres says. You can stay in witness protection if you want. Or you can go back to your old lives. With Michael and his associates locked up, the threat is minimal. David and I look at each other. Can we have some time to think about it? David asks. Of course. Take all the time you need. 2 weeks later, sentencing day. The judge sentences Michael to 45 years in prison with no possibility of parole for 25 years. He'll be an old man before he ever breathes free air again. As they lead him away, Michael stops and looks at David one last time. For just a second, something flashes in his eyes. Maybe regret, maybe sadness. But then it's gone, replaced by cold hardness. Goodbye, brother, Michael says quietly. Goodbye, Michael, David replies. And that's it. Michael is led away, and we never see him again. 1 month later, David and I sit on a bench in Riverside Park, our old park, in our old town. We decided to come back. After everything that happened, we realized something important. We can't let fear control our lives. Yes, what happened was terrible. Yes, Michael's betrayal hurt us deeply. But this is our home. These are our friends, our family, our life. We're not going to let Michael take that away from us. My job at the elementary school welcomed me back with open arms. David got a new job at a different accounting firm, one with much better security and ethics policies. We moved back into our house. Jessica and Amy cried happy tears when they saw us. David's parents are slowly healing from the pain of having one son in prison while getting the other son back. Life isn't perfect. David still has nightmares sometimes. I still jump at unexpected sounds. We both go to therapy every week to work through the trauma. But we're together. We're alive. We're safe. Do you ever regret it? I ask David as we sit watching the fountain. Gathering that evidence. Standing up to them? If you hadn't, Michael would still be free and we'd have our normal life back. David thinks for a long moment. No, he says finally. If I had stayed quiet, I would have been helping criminals. People were being hurt by the drugs those cartels were selling. Money laundering funds terrorism and violence. I couldn't be part of that, even to keep my life comfortable. Even knowing it was your brother? Especially knowing it was my brother. He was wrong, Sarah. What he did was evil. Someone had to stop him. I lean my head on his shoulder. You're a good man, David Miller. I'm a lucky man, he corrects. Lucky to have you. Lucky to be alive. Lucky to get a second chance. A second chance. That's exactly what this is. My phone buzzes with a text. It's from Jessica. Movie night at my place Friday? I promise to make that terrible popcorn you guys love. I smile and text back. We'll be there. David sees my smile. What is it? Jessica wants to have movie night. Just like we used to. That sounds perfect. We sit in comfortable silence, watching people walk by. Mothers with strollers, kids playing, couples holding hands. Normal, beautiful, everyday life. I got something for you, David says suddenly. He pulls a small box from his pocket. My heart skips. David, what? Open it. Inside is a delicate silver necklace with a pendant shaped like a phoenix, the mythical bird that rises from the ashes. We rose from the ashes, David says softly. We survived the fire. And now we're starting new again. Tears fill my eyes as he puts the necklace on me. It's beautiful. You're beautiful. And strong. And brave. You went through hell because of me, and you never gave up. We went through hell together, I correct him. And we came out the other side together. He kisses me, A gentle kiss full of love and promise and hope. 6 months later. Life has settled into a new normal. David and I are happy. Really, truly happy. We have dinner with his parents every Sunday. Jessica and I meet for coffee every Wednesday. I love my students and they love me back. The nightmares have mostly stopped. The fear has faded to a dull memory. We're healing. One evening, as we're making dinner together in our kitchen, David turns to me with a serious expression. I've been thinking, he says. About what? About our future. About what we want next. I set down the spoon I'm holding. And what do we want next? He takes both my hands in his. I want a family. With you. I want kids and chaos and sticky fingers and bedtime stories. I want to build a life so full of love and joy that it erases all the darkness we went through. My heart swells so big I think it might burst. I want that too. Really. Really. Let's start trying. David picks me up and spins me around, both of us laughing. We're going to have a family. We're going to create new life and new memories. We're going to prove that love is stronger than hate, that good is stronger than evil. That night, lying in bed, I think about everything that happened. The funeral where I thought my husband was dead. The text message that changed everything. I am still alive, do not trust anyone. The terror, the running, the fear. The betrayal of Michael, David's own brother. The trials, the testimony, the justice. And now peace. Safety. Hope. I touched the phoenix necklace at my throat. We rose from the ashes. And we're going to fly. 1 year later. David and I stand in the nursery we've been decorating for months. The walls are painted a soft yellow. A crib sits in the corner, waiting. I'm 7 months pregnant. In 2 months, we'll welcome our daughter into the world. We're going to name her Hope, because that's what she represents. Hope for the future. Hope that good things can come after bad things. Hope that love wins in the end. Agent Torres came by last week to check on us. Michael is serving his sentence at a federal prison in another state. Henderson got out on medical release. He's dying of cancer, but will spend his remaining days under house arrest. The cartels were broken up. Dozens of criminals went to prison. The world is a little bit safer because David was brave enough to stand up to them. Do you think she'll ask about Michael someday? I wonder aloud, rubbing my belly. Her uncle who's in prison? Probably, David says. And when she does, we'll tell her the truth. That sometimes people we love make terrible choices. But that doesn't mean we stop loving them. It means we love them from a distance, with healthy boundaries. You're going to be a great dad. You're going to be an amazing mom. We stand together in the nursery, imagining our future. Birthday parties and first days of school. Scraped knees and goodnight kisses. Teaching her to ride a bike and helping her with homework. All the normal, beautiful moments of life. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Jessica. Still on for the baby shower next weekend? Amy and I have been planning for months. I smile. Wouldn't miss it. David wraps his arms around me from behind, his hands resting on my pregnant belly. I love you, Sarah Miller, he whispers. I love you too, David Miller. We stand like that for a long moment, feeling our daughter kick and move inside me. Outside, the sun is setting, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange and gold. It's beautiful. It's peaceful. It's everything we almost lost and everything we fought to keep. This is our second chance. This is our new beginning. And we're not going to waste a single moment of it. Sometimes the worst moments of our lives lead us to the best moments. Sometimes betrayal teaches us who we can truly trust. Sometimes death brings us back to life in ways we never expected. David and Sarah Miller survived the unthinkable. They faced danger, betrayal, and loss. But they never gave up on each other. And in the end, love won. Because love always wins.